Hello and welcome back once again to Infinite Jeff, the project where I, Jeff, read the book Infinite Jest to you one page at a time, one day at a time, put it up on the YouTubes.com for all to hear. I think I'm getting weird distortion on my recordings for some reason today. So if you can make that out, I apologize. It's not ideal and I wish it would go away, and I hope my microphone's not fucked. Although it would give me an excuse to buy a new setup. But anyway, this is page number 358 of the book, Infinite Jeff. Here we go. And said to keep coming, and Apothegm Gately found just as trite as easy does it. Live and let live. How do trite things get to be trite? Why is the truth usually not just but anti-interesting? Because every one of the seminal little mini epiphanies you have early in AA is always polyesterishly banal, Gately admits to residents. He'll tell how, as a resident, right after that one Harvard Square industrial grunge post-punk, this guy whose name was Bernard but insisted on being called Plasmatron 7, right after old Plasmatron 7 drank 9 bottles of NyQuil in the men's upstairs head and pitched forward face first into his instant spuds at supper and got discharged on the spot, and got fireman carried by Calvin Thrust right out onto Com Ave's Green Line T-stop, and Gately got moved up from the newest guy's 5-man room to take Plasmatron 7's old bunk in the less new guy's 3-man room. Gately had been epiphanic? Okay. AA-related, had an epiphanic AA-related nocturnal dream he'll be the first to admit was banally trite. Footnote 140. In the dream, Gately and row after row of totally average and non-unique U.S. citizens were kneeling on their knees on polyester cushions in a crummy, low-rent church basement. The basement was your average low-rent church basement, except for this dream church's basement walls were of like this weird, thin, clear glass. Everybody was kneeling on these cheap but comfortable cushions, and it was weird because nobody seemed to have any clear idea why they were all on their knees, and there was like no tier boss or sergeant-at-arms type figure around coercing them into kneeling. And yet, there was this sense of some compelling unspoken reason why they were all kneeling. It was one of those dream things where it didn't make sense, but did. But then, some lady over to Gately's left got off her knees and all of a sudden stood up, just like to stretch. And the minute she stood up, she was all of a sudden yanked backwards with terrible force and sucked out through one of the clean glass walls of the basement. And Gately had winced to get ready for the sound of serious glass. But the glass wall didn't shatter so much as just let the cartwheeling lady sort of melt right through and heeled back over where she'd melted through, and she was gone. Her cushion, and then Gately notices a couple other polyester cushions and some of the other rows here and there, were empty. And it was then, as he was looking around, that Gately, in his dream, looked slowly up overhead at the ceiling's exposed pipes, and could now all of a sudden see, rotating slow and silent through the basement, a meter above, the different shaped and colored heads of the kneeling assembly. He could see a long, plain, hooked stick, like the crook of a giant shepherd, like the hook that appears from stage left and drags bad acts out of tomato range, moving slowly above them in French-curled circles, almost demurely, as if quietly scanning. And when a mild-faced guy in a cardigan happened to stand up and was hooked by the hooked stick and pulled ass over tea kettle out through the soundless glass membrane, Gately turned his big head as far as he could without leaving the... And that was page number 358 of Infinite Jest Unhinged Infinite Jeff. Anyway, hope you have a great night. That's how Infinite Jeff. Jeff.